Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, or Tank 1, 2, however you call me. I don't really care. Welcome back to World of Tanks, where today I have a little gameplay for you guys in the STB-1, where we are playing a tier 10 match on Ghost Town. And basically, what I want to tell you guys is, do not sleep on the STB-1. I have had this tank for about 3 years now, or 4 years, and the Type 61 was my favorite tier 9 vehicle, but because I was not a big fan of the current and still tier 10 meta, I never really gave this tank a shot, which was a very foolish thing to do, because the STB-1 is an incredible vehicle that is so much fun. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. Yesterday, or, I'm recording this on Friday. On Thursday, we had a live stream where I played the STB-1, and we managed to do over 8,000 damage in the second game. And I just think that that's pretty damn crazy, because I know that the STB-1 is good, but I didn't know it was this good. The rate of fire is insane. The ability to go into a hull down position with the hydropneumatic suspension, having 12 degrees of gun depression, all of these things are great. Look at that shot. The shell velocity is nice. The penetration is great. The heat shells you have as secondary rounds are also nice. So you have the maximum availability in flexibility, or you have the maximum available flexibility with your tank, and you also have a little bit of armor. And your mobility, well, your mobility is pretty nice as well. So all in all, you have a package that is really, really competitive and really, really nice. And as you can see right here, this is a game where we are going to be playing on the 1-2 line, and you can see our team is being very aggressive. They're pushing the object 277 at the TVP T50-51. It is a bit of a weird spot, the place that they're in, a place that I do not like to push early on, because they always have tank destroyers sitting at J4, and whenever you're there, the middle usually starts to take positions up at F5, so that they can actually shoot you. So you run the very dangerous kind of thing of getting surrounded from both sides and getting shot from several directions. That's why I don't like to go there. And you can see we just lost our VZ-55, but we managed to keep this FV-215B tracked and set him on fire. But he has automatic fire extinguisher, and it's not going to save him for long though. The T-95, the Chieftain, takes him out of the game. But so far so good. Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes into the game, we have taken quite a bit of the map into our control. We have very nice alleyways of fire, but the HP on both teams is still very evenly distributed, at least from what we have seen so far. The tanks that you do not see, or the tanks that have not been spotted, well, they do not show up, so they will always show up as full HP, but that might change as soon as they come into radio range. So there's the Leopard 1. He's making a move. He's making a move with the TVP-51. Unfortunately for us, we're going to lose our teammates here because they were so low HP, and as soon as somebody would just drive over this ridge, it was clear that these guys were going to die. But because you have this really, really good hydropneumatic suspension system and this really nice turret, we can actually tank some shots. And now it's important for me to take out these guys and to keep this ridgeline as a defensive position. What I can still do is I can still fall back to the next ridge behind me, but first I want to put some pressure on these guys. The last thing I want to happen is get hit by artillery, so I fall back, and I hope that the 114 in the back of me is going to be able to support me in this situation. Thankfully, artillery takes a big dump on the object 277. We managed to actually flank around, and you can just see the rate of fire, the hydropneumatic suspension. There's nothing this object 277 can do. You don't even need gold a lot of the times, and that's just the thing I really like about the tank, If I can shoot down at your weak spots, why should I fire gold? Why should I waste credits when I have all of the available tools right at hand and can basically just fire standard AP shells that do just enough damage and do just everything as well, but have not the same amount of pen. So right now you can see the game is pretty one-sided for us. It looks like it's going to be an easy win, but it does turn in a second because the middle has some very, very dedicated players on the enemy team, and they are doing everything in their power to put some pressure on us. Thankfully, we do have the angle to shoot at them and the rate of fire as well to really put down the pain on the M60, the E5, and the IS-7. But still, unfortunately, we do lose 2 vehicles in very quick succession, and it looks like the enemy team now has the advantage in their hand. But because we have this really great tank, this really great DPM, the great pen, everything together, we're going to be able to still deal loads of damage to these guys as soon as they do get themselves into positions where we can actually shoot them. Which is quite difficult to see because this E5 is no idiot. He knows that somebody's hiding out here. Unfortunately, we do not hit him, and I have to refocus on the Batchat 25T because it's the last thing I want to happen, to get outflanked by the Batchat 25T. And there you can see, I just spot him. He doesn't actually spot me. I put a shell into him, making him a one-shot. And now it's all about, who is going to make the next move? Because the T95, the Chieftain, is trying to stay alive in that position, but he knows that if he is there, the Batchat 25T will be able to have some shots at him. So I decided to actually make a move and use the remaining 1,175 HP that I have to put some pressure on the Batchat, but not without first taking a pop shot at the artillery there, because obviously if you have a chance to shoot the artillery, you shoot the artillery. This Batchat was not prepared for us. We take him out. He wasn't interested in the Chieftain either. He was kind of worried about us, which, to be fair, I would have been worried too. But now, unfortunately, we do suffer a little bit of a setback. Artillery takes a pop at us. The M60 has just opened fire, so I'm just waiting for somebody to spot the M60 so that we can actually engage this guy. The M60 has really, really good engine speed. Unfortunately, the first shot does not go through, but the second one we're not going to miss. And right there, we take out the M60 with a nice little shot at the end. Yeah, we get a platoon invite by the Chieftain. I think I accept it because it's brothers in arms, right? And now it's all about taking out the artillery and the Jagdpanzer E100. And what is really weird is I get lit up. So the artillery must be in the bush over there, or he must be, yeah, right there he is. Unfortunately, I fired too soon, but I do think I managed to knock out the artillery in the end. So, in the end, we did something along the lines of 6,700 damage with the 2 blind shots that we had. 2 or 3 blind shots after the game. 2,000 assistance damage. We've basically been able to hold an entire flank against several vehicles. We did use our team a little bit in the sense of for spotting and for the push, but I just think that that was a little bit too aggressive. They went into a position that you cannot hold very well at the beginning of the game because you get crossfired by the guys that are sitting right next to the ridgeline, the guys that are sitting up here, the guys that are sitting over there, the guys that are sitting in the town. So you have a very weird kind of position where you cannot push and you cannot fall back. If you fall back, you get fired on by everyone. And if you go there, you have to really be dedicated to that push. But if you don't have enough manpower, it's not going to work out. So I think their play was a little bit of a misplay. And I actually supported them still. But it was a little bit of a douchebag thing to just sit at the back and, you know, farm the enemies that went over the ridgeline. But in the end, it was still a win, and we had a pretty good game. So hopefully that makes it okay again. So, hope you guys did enjoy. As always, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Until then, have a good one.